Good evening, or good afternoon rather, ladies and gentlemen. See, you heard a lot of talks today about the various opportunities that you have in structural steel and what people are envisioning how the things would move. I'm here basically taking the role of that enabler who facilitates that end dream to come into place. I must admit that India has not been very pro towards this particular movement in the segment. So I was only trying to say that we're not limited by any capabilities in order to bring in such desires or dreams into shape. With the limited sort of projects that we have done, I just wanted to show how we can scale this possibility to make that end result happen. Just to talk about Kirby, I represent Kirby Building Systems. We are 100% subsidiary of Al Group, a Kuwait-based organization, an extremely diversified group. And we are reputed one of the world's top 3 global producers of steel buildings. Now our products range from premium steel buildings. We are the first to start such a product in India, structured steel buildings, and storage solutions. Now, we started operations in Kuwait in 1976. Almost the past 36 years we are in this business with a capacity of 100,000. We bought out the rights for Kirby for the rest of the world. Then we all started a plant in Hyderabad in 2000, in Hyderabad in 2006, UAE in 2007, and then finally Vietnam in 2009. So altogether, all these 4 plants churn out 400,000 tons of steel. And to date, we supply almost to 65,000 buildings across the globe. Our Hyderabad facility, almost 60,000 square meters. We are one of the largest facilities in India in terms of capacity and volume, 100,000 tons. And the same thing in Hyderabad, a relatively new one, but the same capacity. We have almost more than 4,000 customers, 4,500 customers in India, spanning across all corporates and MNCs. And 15,000 buildings have been supplied to India to date. We have our partners, when somebody is talking about execution concerns we have in India of contractors who are capable of delivering or erecting the structures, but we are constantly in the process of developing and training our people to execute such set of projects along with our colleagues in the industry. So we have presence in more than 70 countries across the globe. Now engineering systems is the heart to this. We understand that we do take a lot of design and build projects in which our engineering team of mostly around 300 people take care of the entire engineering for the global Kirby systems. And that types of structures which are ranging from simple structures to extremely complex or involve architectural multi-story structures. The softwares, we have some in-house, some we use from third party outside. All this basically brings in a lot of synergy and reduction to time to execute the project. We have the all in-house state-of-the-art facilities, automatic welding, shot blasting. So we don't outsource basically anything to the field. We advocate 100% in factory, not a single element is outsourced as a factory. List a few of our satisfied or delighted customers. You can see we range from very broad range from all major MNCs to pretty much all major corporates in India. And we do cater to a lot of SMEs as well. Awards and recognition, we are fortunate to receive this Construction Week Award for the best project in 2014 for a Mahindra project we executed in Hyderabad. Last year we received Dun & Bradstreet for the best project, Aerofilm Award for the outstanding company. So we EPC World Award for the outstanding company premium buildings. We have the British Safety Council Award and Infrastructure Excellence Award. We have done the world's largest PEB in a single facility, the renowned Navaz factory in Oregon. Now this structure is a blend of quite a few conventional, non-conventional structures. And safety and environment is something which we care about a lot. Now, what I wanted to show you was, we did start in India with pretty much small structures. That's how the thing went. In fact, we started by doing big simple warehouses. What we found in India was, there was a lot of reception to this thought about factory-made structures and scaling the possibilities to include structures which are much bigger in size. So over the next couple of presentations, I just want to show you, I won't be talking anything technical to you gentlemen today because I think we have lots of that. I'm only trying to show you how that can be translated with or enabled by people like us. This is a warehouse, as you say. We supplied almost 2,500 tons of steel and 15,000 square meters for a heli, that Honda Express Logistics. So this structure is a large scale flare-up of a typical warehouse. Remington facility, the world's largest PB facility, it is 310,000 square meters, and we supplied close to 32,000 tons of steel, including very complicated pipe structures. Sarogi builders, hangars, this is pretty much in a mix of conventional and the latest PB type. Danfoss, they supplied electrical controls. These facilities are 71,000 square meters, close to 2,500 tons of steel. Danieli, they are an Italian manufacturer. This structure, if you look at it from outside, very simple shape. It is an extremely complex structure with almost 42 cranes run inside the building, turning from normal top running, underhung, wall mounted. So it's a venture into an area where steel used to be done pretty much with a conventional steel. So that conventional steel with a blend of steel or pre-engineered buildings bring a lot of synergy and benefits to the client. Toshiba JSW, this structure, as you would see, is a blend of precast and steel. That precast columns are carrying steel girders which are supporting 500 metric ton cranes, perhaps one of the largest capacity, and those cranes were tested for almost 750 metric ton. I know pretty much all of you are interested in the commercial and building segment, but I thought there's a lot of merit in telling that India has moved from what it was even on the traditional sector to get into much more complicated structures in factory-made structures. Mahindra Zaidabad project, this is the project which 50,000 square meters and 3,500 tons of steel we supplied, and this was adjudged the best project in 2014 by Construction Week. We just received the award last week. MRF Trichy, the tire manufacturing facility, almost 7,200 tons of steel, all factory made. Shinzo Corp is a two-wheeler manufacturing facility for Honda, 6,000 square meters, almost 6,000 metric ton almost, and close to 112,000 square meters. In this, there are very complicated conveyors which take the assembly units and the painting areas, so pretty intense stuff. Hindustan National Glass, we supplied 5 factories. This is the world's largest container glass manufacturing facility, an area of 20,000 square meters, and we supplied more than 6,000 tons of steel to this. Now they manufacture brakes for automotives, a German company, almost 19,000 square meters of puff panels. Nokia in Chennai, again 2,500 tons. So you can see that over the past 10 years, we started in 2000 to 2014, the reliability and the confidence of the architects and consultants towards the factory manufactured structures which are lighter, which are much faster, has grown leaps and bounds. This is a Belgian gear manufacturing company, Hanson Drives. You can see pretty much all conventional structural steel facility. It's an air-conditioned building. Pipavav shipyard, this structure is 40 meter high, carries a 150 metric ton crane, and almost 8,900 tons of steel. Now, talking about structural steel, broadly we divide this into 3 major segments. One is the industrial segment, of which we talk about steel, oil and gas, chemical. These are all heavy segments. Now, when we started PEB in India, or the factory-made steel structures in India, there were a lot of adverse reception to this particular area from our consultants. But what has happened now, I'll show you that how the thing has moved from even traditionally people who were doing this on-site fabrication for very complex steel mills are now going into factory-made structures. So you would see that. Now in the infrastructure side also, obviously steel has become a choice with a sort of flexibility it offers. And then the point to where we are now is talking about these commercial buildings predominantly here today, where we see a huge opportunity. Now in the structural steel section, the demand is currently governed by the industry and the infrastructure segment. That's where the entire demand is booming. Other one is a much lighter pace. Even from a study by Frost and Sullivan, from 2009 to 13, there's a demand on the structural steel by around 5%. But that transition is going to go at a compound rate of probably double over the next 10 years, as that's what study indicates. Yeah, we do agree that concrete is predominantly the mostly accepted factor because of obvious reasons that has been said today, but we do see a trend where steel is picking up slowly. So overall, there is quite a good potential for steel in India, owing to the robust economic growth projections and the positive sentiments we have currently. I just want to take you, show this particular slide, which shows about the steel consumer behavior pattern. If you look at, this shows the per capita steel consumption versus the comparative index of cement to concrete. All right. So if you look at developed economies like USA, UK, Japan, you can see that the per capita consumption of steel is somewhere around 40. In India, the per capita steel consumption structure of steel is somewhere around 6 to 7 kgs. So in developed, it is around 40. So what happens here is there is a high volume of medium concrete and high volume of steel when you go on a development mode. So if you look at Mexico it is medium cement and medium concrete. It is just at the brink. Now similar to India, if you see the per capita steel consumption is 6 to 7 kgs, but with the growth rate we will soon be in this area, we will have medium cement and medium concrete. So that transition is going to happen in India sooner or later. And you can see from the talks and discussions that we're having today, and probably even our we all would agree that 5 years before, we probably would not have a discussion like this to that intensity. We did, I'm not telling that nobody is doing. A lot of steel structures are being done. We saw today from Mukesh and like about the ICIC building and other complications. But that hasn't. But I'm going to say the amount of interest that you see here, amount of curiosity that you see here is much, much more than what you were seeing probably a couple of years before. So it is definitely a moment in India. Now, what could be drivers that we see in structural steel are reduced time for delivery, which brings in a lot of cost advantage for a project of huge nature where finances are involved. If you're able to crash in the time by something like 60%, 40%, the amount of realizations are much, much higher. Change in mindset, predominantly structures which are fabricated in the yard, in the plant, the amount of hazards involved in organizing, we're talking about a single personal contact, one point of contact, doing the entire stuff for you. So that is another driver which is pushing this very fast. Innovative designs, as what we see now, we're talking about a combination of steel and concrete, trying to come up with an optimum cost. Design flexibility, definitely, the sort of changes you can make even while the project is undergoing. So steel is the thing. And above all, with all these concerns we talk about the environment, it's a fully green item. I mean, everything is green and you can build in a lot of green features to your structure with steel. So these are the primary drivers that are making the industry move. Now, one structure which we wanted to talk about is this, briefly, is this is a structure steel facility. This particular facility for JSW structures predominantly used to be all site fabricated. Everything was site fabricated. Recently now they've gone 100% into factory fabricated structures. So the shift is very evident. Again, there were this lot of pipe racks, this conveyor things. It was all moving from the site mode of fabrication to the factory made, ready-made, to assembled nuts and bolts, crashing in the timelines by, in these sort of structures we crash by something like 50% of the timeline. Another major segment we touched upon infrastructure is the power plants. Power plants predominantly used to be, a great extent used to be site fabricated. Now we ventured into that. Why that makes it very complicated is these floors which carry loads like 150 kg per square meter, 150 150 kilonewton per square meter. So very heavy loads getting into sections which are built up very thick, 60, 70, 80 millimeter thick. So we are all now moving into the stage where we identify and understand the advantages of contractors like us. Metros and the infrastructure, all of them are pretty much factory fabricated. We're doing structures, we did for Metro, Delhi Metro, we're doing for Hyderabad Metro. We'll be doing for a couple of other metros too. The Bangalore Metro station, pretty architectural, very much used to be in conventional, see this. Now the interest, what we have evidently seen is over the past years, there is a lot of movement from single-story structure to multi-story structure as we're talking about. In that segment, even industrial structure talk about, these sort of structures are, this is a manufacturing facility for BASF, which one of the largest chemical producers in India. This structure is consuming almost 3,500 tons of steel and coming up. So we can see the multi-level structures coming up in steel from their mix of hot rolled as built-ups. There's another one for Idemitsu Loop coming up in Patalganga in Pune. And commercial structures, the topic which we eagerly all are looking forward to is this segment of medium to high-rise structures and commercial complex and multiplexes. So this definitely requires for us what talked about very sophisticated all softwares which can communicate with each other, like we talk about Xsteel and or ETABS, then Tekla. So these sort of things add a lot of value to the entire value proposition where what we bring in the value is that we do the entire design for that. We do the fabrication for it, we supply it and we erect it. So of course there are limitations or there are discussions that we have, we work together, but these sort of softwares with our capability and experience brings a lot of advantage to the project. This is that one of the Reliance complexes which we did G+2 structure, which was done probably in 2000, Anish, right? In 2000. So there were 11 buildings, we did something around 81,000 square meters. You would nowhere know it's a steel structure, fully cladded. This is where the architectural proposition comes for commercial structure when it comes to steel, you know. The sort of cladding you can give, the sort of spans you would get, steel definitely the factory-made steel definitely governs it. Architectural features you could add to it. This is a conventional center for Shillong. The dome structure, the pitch roofs, pyramid structures. This is a structure we did for medical center in Kuwait, G+10 structure. In this segment, one thing normally which we have seen is, moment the conventional steel comes up, the precast also augments it pretty well. So the steel along with precast goes in on a very fast mode of construction, which saves considerably on the time. The Bangalore Sadara, this is a G+10 structure, which is done in Dubai. There's a car park for Mercedes, G+6 structure. That is also done in commercial steel. Currently in India, we're doing this project with G+3 though, but it is there's another G+8 structure which we are doing in the western region. It's under execution currently. This is around 5,500 square meters and a very fast track project. And that delivery for this project is somewhere around 4 months from the drawings approval, including erection, the structure in place. So where there are constraints of place, where there are constraints of time, then obviously steel becomes conventional steel becomes the master's choice. You can see this pretty good accommodation with rooms with houses on both sides and a corridor in the center. But this can be expanded to much complex structures. That's what we've seen now. Some pictures of that building. This building used steel structures with the bison panels as the walls for partitions. You can see that. Another structure which we are executing currently is a G+13 structure in upper north, and it was a pretty seismic sensitive area, quite a challenge in design. And then this is going to be a residential unit. Now the total is around 6,000 square meters. Entire completion for us was 6 months. That's the project under execution. And this is what the finished project would look like. In fact, we remember a case where almost 2 years before we had interaction with a client on a similar project like this, and then an idea was not even entertained. So currently these are definite trends which are coming up, even though the mega malls and shopping centers are the definite solution, but even the housing sector or the dwelling unit sector are definitely moving towards steel, considering the time spans and the obvious cost offsets that you can make against a comparative study. So if you look at the opportunities in a developed country, the building segment would be the main driver for structural steel. Like almost more than 60% or the 60% or 90%, yeah, almost 60-70% of the entire consumption is in structural steel versus concrete. But if you look at the case like ours, we are on the other side, just on the reverse side. That's where the opportunity is, tremendously. Now, as per in that cloud, if you see, the 50 to 60 is the industry segment, and the infrastructure is somewhere around 20-25, and the building segment is 5%. That's what we are in India currently, where the consumption of structural steel is. So if you look at UK, for that matter, is around 40% will be the percentage of steel, and USA is 60%, where we are at 5%, gentlemen. So what I would like to close is by telling that I'm very happy to note the interest in this segment, and we as the enabler, as we call it, are also equally geared to support your ventures to the requirement where we could partner to make this realization. So I rest my presentation, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.